Cleaning up the soon-to-be-completed Kuala Lumpur Jing Hall gets a good scrub down prior to the upcoming Buddha Day celebrations. One local volunteer in South Africa's Free State Province sets up a Tzu Chi recycling station to help spread environmental concepts. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. In Malaysia, as Kuala Lumpur Jing Hall is nearing completion, Selangor and Kuala Lumpur Tzu Chi volunteers will be able to hold the upcoming Buddha Day ceremony at the outdoor area of the Jing Hall this year. To give those who will attend the ceremony a comfortable and clean environment, days prior to the ceremony, over 1,000 volunteers came together to give the venue a good cleaning.
On the outside, we may be cleansing our prayer hall, but actually we are cleansing our spirit inside.
Led by former Tzu Chi Singapore chapter director Liu Jiyu, over 1,300 volunteers are cleaning up the soon-to-be-completed Jing Hall in Kuala Lumpur.
There are still sections under construction, so we are very careful about everyone's safety and told volunteers not to bring their children along this time.
To ring in Tzu Chi's 48th anniversary and the annual tri-celebration of Mother's Day, Buddha Day, and Global Tzu Chi Day, Selangor and Kuala Lumpur volunteers happily come together to clean up the long-awaited Jing Hall.
I'm filled with Dharma joy to see so many people are cleaning our home. I earlier said that I'm not tired at all from working all day.
The grand and stately hall has been 4 years in the making. No matter rich or poor, everyone can contribute their share to help safeguard this magnificent building.
I'm helping Tzu Chi. Include me when doing good deeds, exclude me when doing evil deeds, right?
Thanks to everyone's efforts, the Kuala Lumpur Jing Hall will be ready to receive the countless people ready to walk the Bodhisattva path on the morning of the Buddha Day celebration. Before Tzu Chi's Buddha Day celebration commences on May 12th, much preparation has to be done. In Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers from Penang and Johor Bahru have mobilized to place markers to spell out the formation for their upcoming ceremonies. Here's more. To prepare for the upcoming Buddha Day ceremony in Penang, Malaysia, staff members from Tzu Chi's medical mission and their family members are aiming to place 12,000 markers at the sports stadium. In less than 4 hours, their goal is achieved.
The formation is bigger, so we have assigned 32 persons per team to place the markers in each section. This method is faster and more systematic than last year, as it took us 2 days last time, and this year we only spent 2 to 4 hours.
Everyone works collectively to complete the placing of the markers, all for the solemnity of the upcoming ceremony. Meanwhile, it's the first time Johor Bahru Tzu Chi volunteers are holding an outdoor Buddha Day ceremony. Rain starts pouring down moments before the markers are placed, but the volunteers are not deterred in their mission and get right to work when the rain has stopped. Determined to complete their preparations, the team works in the darkness with flashlights.
This is the first time we have held such a large ceremony, and we are forming a picture, so we are learning much in the process.
The next day, tape measures are brought out to determine the correct distance before hammering down a nail. But with volunteers being new at holding such an event, the final measurement is off. Only thinking about carrying out the ceremony with grace and dignity, volunteers faced another challenge in inviting formation leaders, as the state of Johor has started requiring schools on Sundays for middle school and elementary school students.
The formation leaders aren't as flexible in their schedule, but we are fortunate that we can adjust so everyone can still work together.
Staring difficulties in the face and turning them into a blessing, these Tzu Chi volunteers are united to hold a beautiful ceremony for all participants to enjoy. Staying in Southeast Asia, despite Myanmar's 10-year compulsory education system, impoverished families still cannot afford tuition. To help, Tzu Chi volunteers started subsidizing needy students after Cyclone Nargis in 2008. Recently, in Yangon, 116 students received Tzu Chi's financial aid, and this year, volunteers opened a summer class to help more students with their studies.
That is hot.
Joining in fun games, children from impoverished backgrounds are enjoying their learning of English. Teacher Lu Yan, an English teacher at a private international school, cancelled all her plans for her vacation after she observed firsthand her students' living conditions.
Before, I knew many needy students but had no opportunity to visit their families in person. After I went to their homes recently, I could truly feel for their difficulties. To support their families, these youngsters need to work and help with household chores, so sometimes they may neglect their studies. If I can help them with their studies and share my knowledge with them, I think that is something much more meaningful.
Following Cyclone Nagas in 2008, Tzu Chi volunteers not only helped schools rebuild their school buildings, but also provided financial assistance to needy students. This year, they even opened a summer class for the students in need.
Children need education. They are the future of our country. Only when we provide them with quality education will our country be strong and prosperous. I'm happy to teach English here. The joy of giving is something that money can't buy.
Tzu Chi's summer class teaches children not only English and math, but also various skills. In addition, medical personnel are also there to give the youngsters basic healthcare tips.
I take part in home visitations twice a month. Many families live in a filthy and messy environment, so I think it's important to teach children to wash their hands frequently, as I believe that prevention is better than cure.
At the summer class, not only are teachers there to help, but also Tzu Chi volunteers showed up to prepare meatless meals for the students.
Many children travel long distance here for class. At home, they don't usually have enough food to eat, so we want to provide them with sufficient and healthy meals.
Despite being short-handed, Myanmar Tzu Chi volunteers maximize their love when accompanying these youngsters. They organize several events to allow children to learn their own blessings after caring for the less fortunate.
We want them to understand farmers' hard work and the happiness that comes from helping the less fortunate. We have been trying to pass these messages on to them.
Bringing in a ray of hope to students in Myanmar. Over the past 5 years, Tzu Chi volunteers have been around to aid students in need, hoping that one day these seeds of love will flourish and pay the love forward across the country.
In China's Jiangsu province,昆山 Tzu Chi volunteers visited the homes of scholarship recipients on May 3rd. Arriving at the home of Wu Pingping and Wu Jiajia, their brother-sister pair couldn't wait to give the volunteers back the bamboo coin banks which they adopted earlier this year, filled with their love.
As Tzu Chi volunteers walk inside, the brother-sister pair can't wait to give them this.
This is the money I saved since the year-end blessing ceremony. You can take it with you, and I believe you will use it where it is most needed and help the underprivileged. It's not much, but it's a little of what I can contribute. Sometimes I put money into my coin bank each day. Other times it's every 2 days. Whenever I have 50 cents, I will put it into the coin bank.
Wu Pingping and Wu Jiajia share a very close relationship and often study Tzu Chi's Jing aphorisms together.
人人本具菩萨心，也同时具有与菩萨一样的精神和力量。
Wu Pingping's motto in life is, no one can expect to achieve anything worthwhile without pain, which deeply moved Kuala Tzu Chi volunteers. While visiting scholarship recipients at their homes and seeing the various certificates hung on their walls, volunteers can sense the children's passion for learning. Much like a farmer caring for his crops, volunteers use their love to nurture these children to grow wholesome and upright.
In Taiwan's New Taipei City, since February, Tzu Chi volunteers have been working tirelessly building prefabricated houses for Typhoon Haiyan survivors in the Philippines. Besides making sure the houses are sturdy enough to withstand the local weather, volunteers have also incorporated Tzu Chi's eco-friendly concepts.
Building prefabricated houses with extra attentiveness. Since February, Tzu Chi volunteers in Taiwan have been working around the clock building prefab buildings for Typhoon Haiyan survivors in the Philippines. With the help of 10 volunteers, a prefab home equipped with a living room and 2 bedrooms can be completed in 2 hours.
It is easier for us to work with iron plates because we only need to fold 2 pieces and weld them together. It can save us a lot of time, money, and strength.
To give Haiyan survivors a comfortable living environment, Master Jing especially reminded the volunteers to widen the space in the kitchen and bathroom. The house is also equipped with a water storage system so rainwater can be reused. The volunteers have also thoughtfully thickened the exterior wall so the prefabricated buildings could withstand a level 12 typhoon.
Cables will be used at the corners. Air will be able to flow into the building through the windows on the top. It is very suitable for the weather in the Philippines.
Currently, volunteers are working around the clock to make sure 2,000 prefab homes will be completed and sent to the Philippines in 5 months. Thanks to volunteers' dedication, very soon many Haiyan survivors will have a safer place to call home.
In Free State Province, South Africa, a Tzu Chi recycling station has been established in the small farming town of Heilbronn. The station was provided by a local Sotho volunteer, Chile, who was once an alcoholic and often got involved in fights. His employer, Wu Dongbao, who is also a Tzu Chi volunteer, however, did not dismiss him for his behavior, but instead cared for Chile even more. Touched by Wu's love, Chile changed his ways and even signed up for Tzu Chi's volunteer training program.
Inside the Stockton shack, the walls are decorated with newspapers and Sotho Jingsi aphorisms.
If we don't have a love, there is nowhere where we can go. So love is a very important thing in our life.
Although cramped and stuffy inside, this venue was provided to Tzu Chi as a community recycling station by Sotho volunteer Chile's mother. This is Wu Dongbao, the Taiwanese entrepreneur who led Chile onto the Tzu Chi path. He is also the one who sowed the seeds of love in Free State Province's Heilbronn community. Hand in hand, local residents use empty rice bags to collect the recyclables, which they later sort into different categories. Some mothers even do so with their babies on their back. Under the leadership of Wu and Chile, over the last 5 months, 3 recycling points have been established in Heilbronn, and more than 200 local volunteers and children are doing their part for their community. Not only do these children know how to sing in Taiwanese, but Tzu Chi volunteers even translated the lyrics from Taiwanese into English and then into Sotho, so children can understand the meaning behind the song. Volunteers and 70 children help a care recipient with a vegetable garden by removing the weeds and sowing new seeds. And as they do so, the seeds in their heart are also flourishing.
According to the latest report released by the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, we simply are not doing enough to minimize greenhouse gas production and prevent global warming. Unfortunately, most people do not realize that ultimately, every one of us will suffer the consequences. And if we do not change our ways, there might not be a tomorrow.
According to the latest report released by United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, by 2100, the planet's average temperature will increase by 4 degrees Celsius.
The IPCC's fifth assessment report states with 95% confidence that humans are the main cause of the current global warming.
All human activities will lead to the production of the greenhouse gas, carbon dioxide. In a way, humanity is a big toaster oven, and the Earth is being toasted by us.
Man-made greenhouse gas comes from exhaust discharged by vehicles, factories, and burning coals, all of which produce carbon dioxide. Large quantities of CO2 will increase the surface temperature of the planet.
No nation or region is safe from global warming. In Taiwan, from 1911 to 2009, the average temperature has risen by 1.4 degrees Celsius, which works out to 0.14 degrees per decade. It is nearly double the planet's average of 0.074 per decade. Global warming leads to natural disasters and water shortages. Agriculture is the first to be affected.
The rainfall in Taiwan is becoming more erratic. Even though it may rain a lot in the summer, our reservoirs simply cannot store that much water, so the early season rice farming cannot get the water it needs.
This year alone, the year-to-date rainfall in southwestern Taiwan is only 150 millimeters, which is only half of what it used to be. As intermittent irrigation is enforced, the harvest from early season rice farming will be affected. Besides the shortage of water supply and detrimental impact on agriculture, climate change will also lead to disease outbreaks and a reduction in biodiversity. So ultimately, human activities are causing harm to human well-being. To break this vicious cycle, human behavior must be modified. People need to learn to control their urges and desires and adapt an environmental-friendly lifestyle, so we will not toast the planet and cause our own demise.
In the United States, to celebrate the upcoming Mother's Day, students of the Long Island Tzu Chi Academy in New York City put on various performances, including going on stage to express their gratitude to their mother. But first, we join a Mother's Day celebration held at the Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital in Taiwan.
At the Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital, medical personnel are holding a Mother's Day celebration in which patients' children have to guess which pair of hands belongs to their mother.
I've been giving you a hand massage, right? That's why I can tell which pair of hands is yours.
This is 78-year-old Mrs. Zhang, who has worked most of her life to raise her 3 children. Just when she was ready to enjoy retirement, health problems started to appear. After an aortic dissection, Mrs. Zhang was left in a coma for 6 months.
When she was in the coma, she still remembered to chant the Buddha's name. She moved her hands like this.
When we were young, our family was very poor. My mother had to go through hardship to raise us.
During the event, a Chinese medicine doctor seized the chance to teach participants ways to relieve shoulder pain and how to do a simple health checkup by pressing the Zhu San Li pressure point.
You can tell whether your mother's digestive system is good or not by looking at the muscle around her stomach channel. It will remind children to take better care of their mother's health.
Meanwhile, in the United States, children of the Long Island Tzu Chi Academy in New York City are also holding a Mother's Day celebration.
My mother always says that we need to have good manners in order to be successful. She has so many rules that I wouldn't have time to list them all, but I know my mother loves us and we love her too.
Other than taking their children to attend the Tzu Chi Academy, many parents also take the time to volunteer at the school. Children put on performances to express their gratitude towards their parents. While off stage, parents busily take pictures of their children. Despite the short duration of the celebration, the love and gratitude embedded in all the performances will be in the parents' hearts forever.
In Kaohsiung, Taiwan, we meet Tzu Chi volunteer郭淑贞and her mother-in-law. Together, the two have been sorting recyclables at one of Tzu Chi's recycling stations in Kaohsiung for the past 6 years. The simple act enables Guo not only to perform good deeds on a daily basis, but also to fulfill her filial duties. After making sure her mother-in-law sits tight behind her on the scooter, Tzu Chi volunteer Guo Shuzhen heads out.
We listen to Master Zheng Yan's teachings.
Each day, Guo brings her 86-year-old mother-in-law to sort recyclables at one of Tzu Chi's recycling stations in Kaohsiung.
Remove the cap first. It's better if you remove the cap from the bottle first.
For many seniors, sorting recyclables isn't only about environmental protection, but also a form of exercise. The more they do it, the healthier their body and spirit becomes.
When my mother-in-law just stays at home, it's boring for her. And since the recycling station is here, I thought, why not come with my mother-in-law and sort recyclables? This way she gets to interact with people and can enjoy herself.
Since both of Guo's own parents have passed away, she treats her mother-in-law like she would her own mother.
Doing good deeds and fulfilling filial duties cannot wait. We should seize all moments to give our parents some happiness when we are healthy. In a way, this is reciprocating the love our parents have shown us.
In fulfilling her filial duties and performing good deeds, for the past 6 years, Guo has been alongside her mother-in-law in sorting recyclables, which has not only given her mother-in-law a healthier body, but has also strengthened the bond between the two. We stay in Taiwan's Kaohsiung at the end of the show and join Xiaogang District Office for its Mother's Day celebration. Besides presenting each mother with a carnation, a professional masseur was at the event to teach members of the public how to give their mother a proper massage. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.